can see the phone swing this way. That's all right. What's up, guys? It's not an earthquake in New Jersey. It's welcome to episode 48. And what we're going to do is we're going to start to go over things we left off the last time. So I'm going to go over what I like to call iron fist from the mount. Guys, you can do the iron fist from the guard. You can do the iron fist from the mount. It's a good way to attack the top position, and the key element is placement. All right, guys. Also, by the way, you can call it whatever you want. It's also known as Diesel Squeezle or Nogi Ezekiel, whatever you want to refer to it. I don't care. I like the word iron fist. Guys, I've been playing with this for a long time. The placement is very important. I want the hand that does the constriction to be placed directly on the carotid. Again, depending if he gets a hand caught in it, it's either going to be the knuckles or this part of the hand. So a lot of times when you mount, the guys, they defend very well, especially in Nogi. I don't have the submissions that I necessarily would, with the gi, I have a cross collar choke. I don't have that with Nogi. So what I'll do is get my hand under the head, make sure that I don't get rocked or don't get like rolled over, which at some point it doesn't matter. Once my hands are in place, it doesn't matter. If he does prevail and wind up on top, he's getting choked anyways. So notice what I'm doing. I'm sinking my hips and opening my knees. I don't want Enrique's hands on my hips to pop me up and start to, I'm trying to avoid this. Are we doing this? I am trying to avoid this, okay? So, especially if I get a mount on a good leg locker, what I'll do is make sure that I have a stable base, and immediately I go into the submission mode. Now from here, if Enrique does turn me, notice how he's extending his neck. He can't tap fast enough. So this is one of my favorite go-to attacks as soon as I'm out. I want his hands up high. Usually they don't go that high. They usually go here. By then it's too late. Once they go here, notice, so if he's down here, if he's just protecting the position, this doesn't protect his neck. Once his hands go up here, I can manipulate the elbows with my body. So, let's do it. I'm going to manipulate your hands with my body. So, as soon as I attack, Enrique starts to defend, I will now attack that dominating mount where I'm using my chest, and from here depends what Enrique does, but from here I have other attacks that I can inflict upon him. So again, the placement is very important. I need him to feel that threat. The only way he's going to feel the threat is if it's a serious attack. Let's do it again. Let's do other side so people can see. So again, I go under his head. I make sure that I'm stable, and I attack. From here, I don't really care. He will, if he starts kipping, it kicks in. If he starts to defend, which he should, I immediately attack the arms. And from here, this is going to be ugly for Enrique. I don't really care how, what he does at this. So that's continuation of episode 47, which one we did with the gi. So the gi version of it is this. The no-gi version of it is this. Yes, John?
I have a question. When you do the knee slide, is this a good time for this?
Yeah.
If they lock their arms up, right? So I do the knee slide and I'm working over to collect the arm.
Yeah.
But they lock up their arm so you can't get it free.
Okay. So, so I slide up, he locks up. This is, so generally speaking, if he keeps his arms strong, good luck with that. So people tend to be strong, like here, they make frames. But once the arms start to get, so if he locks up strong, I work on making sure his arms go just above his shoulders. All the strength is weak, leaving his body. So once his arms get here, people get very weak, even if they're, you know, big muscle head, strong. So when I slide up, so pay attention to what I do as I'm attacking the Ezekiel. So right now, he's basically protecting the position. I go under the head. I start to attack. So as Enrique starts, I basically bring his arms up high. So from here, I slide up. Even if he does lock up, I pull his head. And now his arms are isolated. They're no longer in a position to do anything. So now I start to, so what I'm doing is getting them high to start to control them. But once they're high, once I isolate, then I bring the elbows together. So here again, he's strong. But once I'm isolated, once my legs are in place, I start to bring them close and they become weak again. All right? So guys, the next question that we got is SAO PAULO pass. I guess you could consider it a form of body lock passing, which is becoming very, very popular. We covered that topic about a month ago, and it's a good one because a lot of guys are getting really, really good at it. What I have found out for me personally is that when guys use body lock passing, it's almost futile to fight it, and in the process, people don't just give up the guard pass, but a lot of times they give up the back. So if I feel that the guy is gonna body lock pass me, I basically start to go, okay, I'm gonna fight as hard the guard pass, but once I feel, okay, this is gonna happen, I start to go into bottom side control mode. So I will fight it. We're gonna go over a couple counters when Enrique doesn't set it up properly, which usually goes into split guard and attacks the arm. But if once I lose that ability, then I'm basically preparing as he's transitioning from my guard to top side control. I use that to set up a defense from bottom side control. So I'm basically almost skipping a step. Okay? So let's look at it. So Enrique decides, so there's a couple of things I can do. If I can get under his leg, this is going to help your case tremendously. One, if I do this, this is going to be bad for Enrique. Okay? But that's usually SAO PAULO pass is the province of guys that are pretty strong, so that may not always happen. The other possibilities, go back for a second. So as Enrique, go back. So as he's in my guard, and I start to feel him dropping in, I'm already trying to hip out, so I can put at least 1 foot on the hip. Once I have that, I can start to attack the split guard.
Tap.
Okay? So again, it's me anticipating what's about to happen rather than having it happen and then reacting. It's usually too late. So this is a very important concept in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Anytime, whether he's defending or on the offense, you need to anticipate what's about to happen because that's your best chance of actually countering it. So once I know that Enrique starts to drop his hip, I'm going to try to put my foot on the hip. If I can put my foot on the hip, I can start to attack this arm. Tap. All right? So again, you can use,
Tap.
again, this is timing. Now, let's look at it where Enrique really put some oomph into it and I just realize I'm not going to. So as he starts to drop, so stop, freeze. Right now, that pass is going to happen. It's already too late. So I know my hand is not in a position. I don't have chance to reframe. As soon as he clears my leg, I bump it. And I attempt to regard, but this time with a little bit something better than what I had before. So again, there's literally a trigger when he goes from tilting his hips and me realizing I missed my opportunity, or maybe I just never had the ability to move my hips. All right, so from here, yeah. So I know right now if I shove his head down, it's not going to stop him. Okay? So as this is happening, my left hand, it becomes very, very important. So right now, if I fight, he's just going to flatten me out. Hold on one second. Because his head is on my shoulder. So I know that's going to happen. So I almost go past, and I'm looking to bump him forward to make sure that as soon as I regard, it's going to be some better form of guard than what I had before. So let's look at it one more time. So I'm fighting this. Go. So there's literally a split second when you got to make a decision, continue to fight the guard pass, which will be futile. At that point, one leg already cleared your legs. The other one is about to clear it. And his head is in a good position on my shoulder to keep me flat. So I know that will happen. So I can continue to fight, and chances are you're going to wind up on the bottom, and now you're going to have to reframe, or basically saying, okay, I'm going to basically wind up. So while you're still fighting wind up, you're going to try to exaggerate or accelerate that perpendicular. So when he does pass the guard, he's already perpendicular. He was planning to be more lined up and kind of fight into it. Instead, you got to kind of, and he feels like he overshot. And that brief split second is what gives you the ability to recover guard in a more favorable way. And we're almost out of time. So we have one more topic. John, what is the third one?
The last one was your favorite armbar setup from back.
Oh, that's a good one. So guys, this is a really, really good topic. This was asked from Sweden. Maybe
from YouTube.
maybe Holland, I don't remember. Holland, I think, or Belgium. Guys, we get so many questions that I tend to forget. I try to write all of them down. So my favorite armbar setup from the guy from the back is whatever he gives me. He's not giving me an armbar. So a lot of times when you watch an instructional, I'm on Enrique's back, right? And you watch an instructional and it goes something like this. Yes? You have seen it many, many a time. Enrique, you're going to react. Okay. I'm pretty good at this. But this is how it goes. Because he knows that I'm going for an armbar. Now, I'm going to do it differently. I'm going to do it better. All right, Enrique, turn so they can see your pain face. Guys, can you tell me what the difference between this one and the previous one is? Enrique, maybe you could tell them.
That I couldn't escape it.
Oh, yes. Yes, John.
It looked like you went for more of a position instead of a submission. So you went into like a diamond guard position,
Yeah.
kind of you controlling his
Yeah.
forearm and allowed yourself to control position instead of shooting right for an armbar.
Yeah, exactly right. So, guys, the point is on the first one, I did what most people are taught and trained to do is you get to the back, the guy's kind of escaping, I switch into an armbar. No. He has to give you the armbar. So literally you could see how as I attacked the back, I kept him in trouble until the only possible way out, possible, not likely but possible way out, is to have him give me the armbar, at which point it's a done deal because he puts himself there. So I don't have to do anything. All I do is just hip up. That's it. Versus the previous one where I'm trying to go from lined up to pivoting. No. Let him do that for you. Guys, this is a massive difference, especially for high-level people, is a massive difference between, okay, he's taking it away from me, let me switch, and high-level guy knows where you're going with that, to him have no other option other than to give you that sub, and he sets everything up for you. He's the one putting in the hard work. All I'm doing is keeping the pressure on him until he literally hands it to me on a platter. That's how you want your game. Guys, help us grow our YouTube channel, please. Share, like, subscribe, and we'll see you next week.